let's start our video stream today on Friday. Start on. Hello my dear friends, best greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Dr. Viktor Fursov, I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper and teacher. Let's start our video stream today on this evening time, Friday. That's actually not the midnight, just evening time, so late in neighboring countries and just early and early just going to the west. So that's why the difference in time is pretty convenient. Some people in western countries can watch me just directly online, and people in Ukraine also can watch me, but all about another country is pretty welcome. Only some neighboring countries are not welcome. You do understand what I mean. Because we start actually from the beginning, from the situation in Ukraine, about Newsline. What's about Newsline in Kiev? I do not speak too much about Ukraine because I'm not a reporter and I'm not obliged to talk about it. But what's about Newsline in Kiev? Actually, fortunately, today was pretty quiet day in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. Relatively quiet, I would say, because I have heard several times huge, far away somewhere explosions, but fortunately I checked in Newsline and it was indicated that some explosive materials have been liquidated in some certain areas by our militaries. So this was safe situation, not some explosions in the city, but just outside for security to demine some areas which were mined by our disgusting aggressors certain period of time before. That's why the situation of remining and just mining again for security is still continuing, because war is continuing and this very unpleasant situation, not unpleasant, this is disgusting, this is frustrating, this is very much irritating situation for all of us in Ukraine, and of course for people who is outside can relax a little bit, who is outside of Ukraine, relax, because these people do not hear daily air sirens about possible air attacks, and do not expect some explosions, do not expect drones and everything else, all strange atrocities in the front line. But Kiev a little bit far away from front line, not so far away, because front line is 2,000 kilometers on the south and southeast, and it's a difficult situation, so we're waiting for better from our side. What's about insects? That's much better and more pleasant subject for talking. Do not become crazy being involved only in Newsline about war atrocities and war destruction and war consequences and possibilities, strange situations. So I'm not political reader, not political reviewer and reporter, so please search for political news somewhere else. We will be talking about insects. Insects, little bit connected with some sort of social activities even at the present time. Social activities and even connected with politics. Why? Because I have seen I will be talking today a little bit about social insects. Social insects, because I've seen some interviews, some presentations of our Ukrainian writer with his name, Andrey Kurkov. Yes, Andrey Kurkov. Quite interesting, because he wrote a novel named Ray Beetles. No, not beetles, Ray Bees. Ray Bees. This bee is black colored, black and red, but the name of his novel, Ray Bees. Ray Bees, about people. Not about bees, but about people who is living in a gray zone between front line of aggressors, between our Ukrainian front line, and this middle way. This is a gray zone where some humans, some families still living and frustrating and just under great suppression, and it's quite difficult. But he wrote this book some years ago already, but I've seen his presentation recently, and I noticed quite interesting indicated some facts. One of roles in this book is just a beekeeper. Beekeeper who is living in a gray zone between Ukrainian front line and aggressor's front line. Yes, and it's quite strange because he lately migrating in some places, migrating to the south, migrating to the Crimea, occupied area of Ukraine. And he's talking about bees. He's talking about bees. Hello to Days of a Zoologist, who is coming to our conversation. Hello. Yes, and what's about gray bees? He's talking about bees, about his behavior. And this is one of acting persons in this novel, Gray Bees. The author actually explained that there are some kind of philosophers in villages, some beekeepers becoming philosophers. And this person in this novel, Gray Bees of Andrey Kurkov, he is talking that bees were social insects. He doesn't have too much scientific knowledge, but he has just personal common knowledge. But these bees, honeybees, were living like in a communist society. And it's reminded him about this post-Soviet society. It was his young days in the Soviet society when he was young, happy, and life was proliferous and good one, and very quiet and peaceful. He said, honeybees were living in a communist society, but so because they are helping each other, they're very convenient for communications, they understand each other, and they share all the commodities between them equally, like in a communist society. But ants were living in a socialist society, also with equal rights, with sharing the knowledge, with sharing commodities, sharing food, like in a socialist society, and very peaceful. I was quite a little bit surprised. This philosopher from a village in this novel, Gray Bees. So let's talk about bees which are living not like parasitoids, because there are some parasitic wasps behind of me in this poster. These are parasitic wasps, tiny small parasitic wasps. But what about honeybees? Do they all equal? Are they have equal rights? Or there is actually the book of Thomas Shelley named Democracy of Bees. Democracy of Bees. What does it mean, democracy? Yes, some people, some Americans, they just introduced this social terminology even to bees. Democracy in bee society, in social bee society. Does exist democracy in a bee society? And what is predomination of the democracy in a bee society? That's quite interesting. Do you have democracy? Yes, I have democracy. I have democracy in the society. So many bees, many honeybees, they have their bees' rights, because we are equal. We have bee rights for food. We can all receive good kind of food, good honey, not poisonous honey, not only water, not only just very bad nectar, but also very, very, very sweet honey. These honeybees say, because we're living in a like kind of a communist society. We're equal for all means of work. All this beekeeping farm, all this beekeeping apiary, belonging to us, our colony. We are living in a communist society. No. So let's start from the beginning and try to understand what kind of bees living in a honeybees. Honeybees in a beehives. Beehive is providing usually by beekeeper. Oh, no. We're just living sometimes in a hollow tree. Well, it can be free. We can escape. We are not domesticated. Honeybees saying to us. Yes, to be honest, honeybees, they are not domesticated animals. What means domesticated animals? We are not domesticated. We're wild, we're feral. But human beings thinking that we're domesticated, that we're homes bees. Domesticated like pigs, like cows, like all other domestic animals, like swine in my farming system. Have they been domesticated? Actually, they are not domesticated. They changed a little bit under the selection during the hundreds and thousands years, but no, they are not precisely domesticated like silk moth. One insect which is domesticated in reality, this is a silk moth, very special silk moth which lost ability to fly, and this silk moth, which is silk moth and oak moth, they are used to produce silk in cocoons. High quality silk moth cocoons and oak moth cocoons, just a little bit different quality. And of course, during the thousands of years of selections, the moths lost ability to fly. Silk moths do not fly. They only can mate after hatching. I have cocoons later. I will repeat this idea again. Then mating, and then female is laying eggs, just producing then from eggs very fresh caterpillars. And caterpillars will be growing, and caterpillars are fed by humans, because caterpillars when making cocoon and with pupa inside. And cocoon is very valuable by human beings to collect silk. And that's why silk moths, they do not fly outside from the silk farm. They do not fly outside. They do not have outside feral silk moths. There are some another native species living in the nature in the forest. They are not domesticated, but silk moth is domesticated. But we are not domesticated insects. Yes, you are not domesticated. That's why honeybee is sometimes escaping human being factory, human being farm, and from beekeeping farm coming outside somewhere to another farm, or to the forest, or to the shrubs, trying to escape from human being activities, trying to find somewhere new shelter for the colony, where we produce new nests. So, but we can determine them as a feral if you found them somewhere in a forest, so you say they are feral. They are actually, to be honest, feral in your beekeeping farm, and in beekeeping farm or in a forest as well, because they are wild. But what's about equality? Equality of honeybees. We are equal, we are living like in a human being society, like in a communism. We are communistic creatures. We do not have just the Tsar. We do not have a king. We do not have dictatorship. We are living in a communist society, saying this honeybee. Let's start from the beginning and look for this poster. Honeybees! Yes, honeybees! Honeybees can be separated to different castes, because there are some honeybees, working honeybees and not working honeybees. And who is not working honeybees? No, honeybees all working, but they are working in a different ways because they have a different work. So they have a different responsibilities. They have different specialities. They have different jobs. Honeybees. The major honeybee is a queen. Queen is a fertilized honeybee. Fertilized. Why? Because she was growing from fertilized egg. And this is a female. And drones are produced by mother from unfertilized eggs. Produced. This is a drones. Males are important for what? For mating of honeybees and for transferation, for changing the genes, for hereditary purpose, to pass different abilities, how to collect honey, how to maintain the colony, all hereditary abilities can be passed from fathers or just from drones colony to a new colony for a new fertilized queen of a new colony. So the major part of a honeybee colony is a queen and drones, and of course worker bees. Working bees were have different jobs. Working bees were also fertilized females, but were fed different food. Yes, we are not equal. We are not equal, saying working bee, because we have been fed by special food by other worker bees. That's why we got little bit less food, and from this food in their cells have been born worker bees, and from a big cell, queen cell, with an absolutely wonderful royal honey, royal milk was born the queen. Yes, we are not equal. Queen received the best food, and worker bees received not the best, but good food. But queen in a good colony, just only one, should be just one. And worker bees, where many of them? Were about 20,000 of worker bees in a honeybee colony, up to 50 or 60,000, 600 worker bees in a colony, big colony, and we're equal, because we're produced from fertilized eggs. And of course, we can fly and sometimes change our job. And what kind of job doing working bees? Different kind of jobs. I wrote it on this poster. Don't forget about. First of all, I would say, do you like or hate insects? If you do not like insects, if you are hating insects, switch off this channel and do not watch me. If you like insects, if you enjoy insects, if you like honeybees, this is channel for you. Okay, what's about honeybees? There are some sorts of honeybees because they have different jobs. Still, these are worker bees, but you can recognize they're doing different jobs. They just can be as a nurse. Initially, honeybee is hatching and making very simple work. As a cleaner, very low-paid job. This is a cleaning bee sitting in a colony, walking around in a colony between cells, helping to another bees and cleaning the cells before foraging bees coming to the beehive and bringing the nectar. So cleaning bee preparing the cells before foraging bees, bringing the honey, bringing the nectar. Nectar is very simple liquid of sweet liquid from flowers. But other bees sitting inside beehive were producing, were just taking the nectar, bringing, which was brought by other bees, taken by the proboscis, their tongue, keeping inside the body and then taking it back and just making ventilation inside beehive and producing nectar, and then put this good quality nectar inside cells, which will be produced. Honeybees, different jobs of honeybees. Okay, first job is a cleaning bee. What's another job? This job is a guard bee. Guard bees were sitting just near the entrance to the beehive, near the entrance to the nest of the honeybees, and guarding. Do not allow in just another robber bees coming from another beehive coming to this beehive. So they're protecting beehive. They're like soldiers. They can sacrifice their life for the sake of a honeybees colony. Yeah, so they sacrifice their life for the thousands of other bees. So if someone like a robber come into the beehive and trying to rob the beehive, hard bees just attacking them and just sacrifices their lives for the life of a honeybees colony, like some crazy humans doing the same. But in humans there are a lot of different activities, not only here, this short list of jobs, but much more different jobs. And brain is a little bit bigger in humans rather than in honeybees. And hello, so you can understand. Okay, I will talk about jobs of honeybees and later about humans. So what's about jobs of honeybees? Okay, cleaning honeybee, hard honeybee, and foraging honeybee, and scout honeybees. Scout honeybees, bees are searching around all these fields and meadows, searching for good stock of nectar, for flowers and for pollen. These are scout bees. Like some humans, who can be also in a scouts organization. They can be very, very careful scouts for searching something. So young boys scouts, this is a new organization in Ukraine. So these are good boys. They're not pioneers, they're scouts in Ukraine now. And so hello to them, if some scouts can watch me. And some other bees were going outside and they're named foraging bees, or foragers. Not foreigners. Foreigners were just another colony. Foraging bees were coming to flowers to collect pollen and to collect what else? Nectar inside, bringing and still flying. Honeybees flying. Okay, losing energy, losing some nectar because they're just digesting inside the body, but still bringing nectar inside, or some. So they're foraging bees. But some other bees, you see here I wrote water-carrying bees. Some other bees, they have another responsibility. They need to bring water to the beehive. So that's why they are water-carrying bees. Water-carrying bees very important because in the summertime, beehive is just extremely heated. So bees are buzzing. They're sometimes escaping from they're coming outside of a beehive. They're sitting near beehive. They're buzzing. They're making job like as a ventilators. They're all coming outside, sitting on the beehive because too hot. So they're ventilating. So some water-carrying bees coming inside to feed with water other bees. It's very important to feed by water other honeybees because they can lose their energy. They're losing their abilities. They can die without water. They're evaporating water from the beehive and they're losing their energy and they need water and honey, water and nectar to restore their energy. Water can be very important. Okay, and what else? Wax-making bee, very important wax-making bee. They're like builders. Wax-making bees. Builders, they're building the community, building frames, building cells, because they're just producing wax. Where do bees producing wax? On their abdomen somewhere, just not from here. Some bees were producing poo for sure, poo and pee, but also on the abdomen. On the down part of the abdomen, they're producing small white plates, very good white plates, which are called wax plates. Sometimes they're falling down just on the floor of a beehive. They're visible they're the same size actually as a Varroa mite, but with white color. Fresh wax is not yellow. Fresh wax is just white. Whitish, absolutely white. Hello to Galaxy, hello Dmitry, hello to Zoologist in Kharkiv, I know, very close to front line. Sorry, I'm talking not about front, but about honeybees. Don't become crazy and refresh yourself to remember about summertime, springtime, autumn time, and about bees and beehives, about insects. Okay? wax-making bees were producing, were not soldiers, guard bees were soldiers, wax-making bees were builders. And we have also nurse bees. Nursing bees were number one, nurse bees were taking care about larvae of bees. So were little mothers, were just taking nectar from foraging bees and bringing to the larvae and feeding larvae, and larvae becoming very happy. But we're taking not only nectar, we're taking also just a pollen from foraging bees. We're just eating a little bit and giving in their mandibles on the head. We're taking a little piece of a pollen for stock producing marinated pollen, or we're using this marinated pollen bee bread, which is called as kind of a bee bread. So worker bees are fed by bee bread, and also we're also producing royal jelly. Yes, unfortunately very nice sweet food only for queen, not for worker bees. Royal jelly is produced only for not for workers, but for queen or for queens, because sometimes in certain period of times all these bees changing their behavior. We're stopping to producing the brood. These are many larvae which are going to become adults and bees. What's happening? Why they're all becoming jobless? Why? We're not paid by nectar. No, we're paid. Sometimes we're paid by sugar, by beekeeper. Beekeeper is always giving for honeybees sugar, feeding them like cows, like goats, like bulls, because thinking that they are just honeybees were domesticated animals. No. Honeybees produced royal jelly if we want to swarm. Swarm is this special organization of bees when they want to escape from the previous habitat, from their previous nest, and they change their behavior. And here there is activity which is very connected with democracy in human society. Yes, we're close near politics. Yes, why we both talking about politics? Why we are talking about yes, we need to talk about it. Why we need to talk about it? Because in this certain period of time, honeybees always going to swarm, and this is their natural behavior. Natural because they need to move with their wings and want to escape from their previous nest for certain reason, for many reasons. And in this case, the idea of democracy is very close. What does mean democracy in honeybees? They're very stupid. Are you stupid? No. I'm very clever. No, you're very stupid. You want to escape from my beehive. I gave you absolutely wonderful beehive. Very warm, very big. A lot of food, but you want to escape. Why? Because this is my natural behavior. I'm missing. What is your natural behavior? Natural behavior for reproduction. Natural behavior to maintain a new colony. And for that, honeybees going to escape. And who is thinking about it? In communist society, everything should be shared between the members of society. But in beekeeping colony, not everything the same. Who is thinking about escaping from the beehive? Dictator? Who is dictator? Queen. Queen is dictator in the honeybee society. No, honeybee. No. We have a real democracy. We have a real democracy. We have a real democracy. Not Asian, not Western. We have a real democracy. Honeybees democracy, where only the society of honeybees deciding about how to escape from the beehive or not escape, how to change our king or queen. So we have many kings, but only one queen, the biggest, the most important honeybee, the queen. And we have democracy, Thomas Shelley wrote a book. You can download it from the internet, or I can send you just by email if you do not have this opportunity, do not know how to do it. But this book is in English. I am just telling you the idea of this book. Democracy of honeybees. The society of honeybees. Workers of honeybees deciding how to change the dictator. I am not a dictator. I am just working bee. So, working bees, proletariat, saying and farmers and proletariat, and also some bees in service like nurse bees, guard bees, wax-making bees, water-carrying bees. They're just service bees. Proletariat and service bees, they're changing the king, they're changing the queen. They're deciding that queen is not doing a very good job. If the queen is old and not producing good number of eggs, that's not a good for queen. Very old queen, which is producing small amount of eggs, this is already signal for bee colony, for 50,000 of honeybees, workers, 50,000 were workers, or maybe like 30,000, or maybe bee colony, 60,000 workers, deciding that just only one queen in the colony, which is laying just a little bit, became lazy. Not lazy, maybe ill, maybe deceased, maybe ill, maybe destroyed by something. Or becoming ill and just became old. If queen became old, for example, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, this is already a huge age for queen. Yes, in human being society, some dictators are still living till many years, because the food, royal jelly for dictators are the best. But in a honeybee colony, food is a little bit different. Even the royal jelly is not changing the age. Age still coming. Still 5 years, 6 years. This is the very old age for queen. And workers' bees decided we do not need dictator. Our dictator is not a good one. We need to select a new one. We vote for all honeybees changing behavior, and we are voting for change of old queen. And we are making new queen cells, big cells, different from cells of a normal worker bees. And so big cells, and we are collecting it inside royal jelly. So now we are started to feed not only queen by royal jelly. Yes, not only royal jelly for queen, but for new queen or new queens. Because for security, we are making several queen cells in hidden places, because sometimes the queens, the dictator, want to destroy queen cells, just trying to attack and just cutting queen cells and destroying the larva. But still old queen, old dictator is not able to find all queen cells, and they are guarded by new honeybees, they are guarding new queen cells. In a certain period of time, like in April, in May, every year, normal colony of honeybees is producing not a new dictator, but young new queen, which is not fertilized yet, because she's not young, she doesn't have a sex yet. But so they need to mate with drones, with males, and in April and May, or even May sometimes in June, new queen is escaping from a big colony, escaping for flight, for meeting, for dating with drones from another colonies, from another democratic society. So queen from democratic colony escaping the beehive and mating with another drones, not from the same colony, maybe it's with, but she has a freedom in mating and can mate with over 10 or even more males, or drones, sorry about that. Drones are males of honeybees. So she's flying, drones will just sacrifice their life for the future generation. Drones are mating and then drones are dying. Drones are dying after mating, because if they are lucky to mate, they give their birth for new generation in a new colony, and after that they die. They sacrifice their life for new colony, for the future. So they passed the hereditary genes to new queen, and fertilized queen is coming. And in that time, old colonies also voting for change of old queen. If old queen is still very stupid and do not understand what to do, she will be killed by new queen. Because this is a fight between new queen, new democratic queen, and all already became old, also democratic queen. But there is no tyranny. There is no tyranny in honeybee colony. One queen will survive only. Usually, young queen is just more active, very active, and with a very big sting, and very active, and usually stinging old colony, old queen, and old queen is dying. So yes, and new young queen becoming just a queen of this colony, or old queen can decide to kill a young queen. So different situation. Or sometimes the young queen is making a signal, I do not like this house, do not like this beehive, because very small house, like in some countries, this is not democratic society. No, I want to escape. And young queen is deciding to leave outside, to go outside from this beehive. So, and together with another group of workers just taking the stock of honey, and they're swarming, they're just escaping. We're escaping, and searching for new refuge. It's usually it happens when young unfertilized queen can escape, or together several unfertilized queens escaping together with swarming bees. Very different situations. Sometimes fertilized queen can escape, sometimes unfertilized queen can escape. So this is becoming split of society. So this is not a revolutionary. This is very peaceful change of society inside the beehive. Little bit peaceful. The fighting only between leaders, between new dictator, new young queen, and old dictator, old queen. And who will survive? Usually young queen will survive and maintain again society which is democratic. Because who is determining this society? Not the dictator. No, do not understand you. Honeybee is very important. Workers are important. The workers in a honeybee colony are more important rather than queen. Queen is important because she is producing eggs and producing larvae and producing all the generation of honeybees. But workers' honeybees determining the structure of society. and they're deciding who will be the leader, and they can change the leader. And so they express their wish and desire to change the society by killing sometimes old queen and making new cells. So this is a situation. So there is a democracy in honeybees. But what's about ants? Andrey Kurkov and his personage, he's just one of, which is named, who is a beekeeper and who is philosopher in the novel Rabies. He told that ants, they live in socialist society. We're living in a socialist society. Do you believe that ants living in a socialist society? I never believe in that we're living in a socialist society, because ants were not so peaceful. Yes, I know why, because ants were not so peaceful, even if they're vegetarian, even if ants sometimes vegans. Yes, sometimes ants are vegans. They're eating only seeds or sometimes they're collecting leaves and eating mushrooms. So they're vegans. They're not socialists. They're not living in a communist society. So they do not know what is it. They're living sometimes in a slavery society. They're slavery society, and they're predators. They're predators. They kill. They're predators. They're predacious. They're active soldiers. They're coming to another places. They're eating either insects, either another animals, arthropods, or everything. Or sometimes they're vegetarian, eating seeds. So collecting seeds and eating sometimes mushrooms. If they collect leaves, they're bringing leaves inside in the colony and growing in the ants farm. They're growing mushrooms. And that's, in many cases, they live not in socialist society, they live in slavery society, because sometimes ants do like to go to another colony, penetrate another colony, making ants war. And they sacrifice their life for the life of a colony, because they're doing it not thinking. They're not thinking. Like some soldiers in tyrannous societies, they're not thinking. Soldiers, are you thinking? In human being society, soldiers not thinking. Soldiers in human being society thinking how to survive. Or just mercenaries, paid soldiers, mercenaries, paid soldiers in aggressor's country, which attacked our country, Ukraine. They're mercenaries, they're paid. They have a good salary, and mercenaries want to fight just for money. And the same ants, they're coming as soldiers paid by their instinct. So ants much more stupid rather than humans. Or humans maybe are very stupid, because they sacrifice their life just for money. For money of their imagination in this very stupid brain. For imagination in the brain. Because this ideology, dictatorships, ideology, or just communist ideology, is just very infectious. Dictatorship ideology and communist ideology, very infectious. Some humans started to believe, some humans are just Buddhists, believe in peace. But some humans started to believe in a god of a war, for money or for ideology. And ants, they're doing everything just on their instinct, and they're inherited, because they have inherited instincts. Do you know? Inherited. The instincts were just implanted inside their brain, inside their genes. They are not selecting, go to outside from the colony to fight for the war or not. Human beings have just brain, and they have education. They have a choice to go to war or not to go to war. Go for peace or just to fight against another side. Sometimes it's very difficult, but ants, they have inherited behavior. Inherited, it means just born ant has all knowledge about his life. Humans must be educated, but ants, they are not educated. They already with a high grade of education. They know everything immediately after they were born. They change in only a little bit their behavior according to the situation. They're becoming slower, becoming more active, but they have completely all inherited behavior. They can learn a little bit. Yes, they are pretty clever. They're not very stupid. They can learn a little, they can count sometimes. They can learn about situation. They can select environment. They can understand the situation around. They can adapt to a new situation, but they have inherited brain. So they go to war to fight with another bee colony. Not bee colony, or bee colony, or ants colony, for food and for territory. Like some very stupid wood in the brain for humans. Some humans, they have a very stupid behavior because they're coming to another neighbors just for food, for territories, with very empty brain. They're coming just for money. Ants come in just because they have inherited behavior. And sometimes they're stealing everything in another colony because they're very stupid soldiers. They are not stupid soldiers. This is their inherited behavior. They're stealing the larvae, they're stealing pupae in another colony of ants, bringing them together on their back. They're stealing, bringing to the colony, to old colony, and educating them. Not educating. They're just bringing them and waiting for hatching. They're taking they are coming to another colony, stealing pupae or larvae in colony and bringing to their own colony and just feeding them. After feeding in a new colony, new ants just emerged, hatched, and they just learn a new behavior in a new colony. They're becoming slaves. So, because sometimes ants stealing another ants in the same species or even in different, or in the ants colony of another species, different species. And both of them becoming slaves. They're like slaves, started to work for a new colony. They're not escaping, they're working. Sometimes, in the slavery human society, humans did this absolutely the same. Absolutely the same like ants. So you can understand who learned from the behavior. Ants were living more than 30 million years. 30 million years, or even 60, I guess, in some amber raising ants should be about 65 million years old. And humans appeared at least 1 million or 2 million years ago, some very, very beginning, 1 or 2 million. So humans inherited some very stupid behavior or just learned the behavior of slavery from animal society. And there is no socialist society in ants colony as well. So there is no equality in ants colony, and there is no equality in honeybees colony. And in communist society also, there is no money. If you don't know, what is the difference between communist society and socialist society and capitalistic society? In a capitalistic society, all humans who are just living in one type of a country or another type of country, working for money, and they, in capitalist society, means of production, factories, farmings, all working tools belonging to race of oligarchs or capitalists. and there is no equality between people. In such utopian socialism, utopian capitalism, utopian communism, there is equality between members of society, equality in means of work, in factories and in human resources, in natural resources, equality. And this equality shared between members. But this is utopian situation for society. There is utopian theory of communist society and utopian theory of socialist society. Socialist society is something like between capitalist and communist society. Now, majority of countries are living still in a state of a financial capitalism or industrial capitalism or states capitalism. And some, only maybe 3-4 countries in the world still using the Marxist theory for manipulation in their society. So, and honeybees and ants, they do not have society like humans, they do not have politics, and they do not have socialist, communist society or socialist society. They are working because they have inherited instinct of work, and they are born already. Honeybees are born, and ants, as a social insects, they are born with their inherited behavior inside the brain of honeybee or inside the brain of social insect as ant. Yes, all your behavior is very much predominated. You do not need to have education in a university, in high school. Your whole behavior is predominated. It's behavior of honeybee and behavior of queen or workers. Because all your behavior is just prescribed in genes, in DNA of honeybee. Yes, this is a very secret knowledge. Do you know about it? Did you know about it? I changed. No. I wanted to check my camera because I showed some pictures with jobs with bees. So finally, I can ask you again: do you hate insects? So if you do like insects, very good. You found a good channel which is about insects, including honeybees, workers, bees, queens, drones, and about different types of insects. Hello everybody who is just joining me during this stream. I hope it was interesting to talk about honeybees and about ants and about socialism and capitalism and socialism, capitalism and communism. Very strange situation. If you know something about it, or maybe you do not know anything about it, because this is a very difficult subject and people do not like to talk about it actually, about classes, about socialist society, about communist society. No. But at least we can say that communist society didn't exist in the USSR time. Yeah, it was not communist society. It was states capitalism. It was states capitalism with communist ideology and some crazy dictatorships system trying to restore it. So that's why our democratic honeybees are fighting for democracy. We will be fighting for freedom. Don't forget about it. If you want to see more videos about honeybees, you are really welcome, and I can show you a couple videos with us, with another honeybees. Yes, here you can see this is a honeybee which is sitting on flower and thinking with proboscis, with tongue, honey. Probably I did this video inside my laboratory. You see, honeybee is just has a dust on the head, yellow color pollen on the fronts. She's using antennae to recognize the smell of nectar or smell of water or smell of honey. She's using third pair of legs for collecting pollen and bringing it to house. And of course she's using tongue between mandibles on face for collecting honey. Because today we were talking about honeybees, and to finalize the story will be a good idea to show you a couple times honeybee. And this is another honeybee which is actually infected with honeybees. Not virus, but with this bloody Varroa mite. You see, this is a plate from the side of a honeybee. This is a Varroa mite, which is sitting and just attached to the body, attached to the hairs of honeybees very seriously, and not just falling down, but still sitting on the body and moving from one place to another place. And the size is quite visible. Varroa mite is quite a big one, so you can recognize next time if something wrong, like a dust attached to the body of honeybee. This is a mite. These are several mites. Sometimes several Varroa mites can be attached to the body of honeybees. So thank you for coming. I hope something funny, something new I told you about honeybees and about honeybees society. Yes, because this is a very serious question about society of humans and society of honeybees colony. And if you have questions, this is my email. This is my private email, so you can send your message on my private email. So, and ask your private question privately, not only in the comments, because you can write comments if you have a channel on YouTube, and if you have email on Gmail. Email on Gmail allows you to write comments on YouTube under the YouTube videos. But if you have your email somewhere else, you cannot write comments. You can understand how to write comments, so you can send me question or comments on email. And of course, I can publicize that I have Patreon page. This is page for donations. So everybody now in Ukraine has a credit card, so very easy to send just something like a small donation, even for one cup of coffee on my account on Patreon page, which will be given here under the description of video, with your very nice credit card, or maybe you have many credit cards in a monobank, in a private bank, or in other foreign banks. Yes, now it's allowed to have many accounts even abroad. This is very fashionable to have account abroad. If you have money in Ukraine or just outside somewhere in Switzerland, you can drop few dollars for coffee on my Patreon page, and Patreon page will send it me, which will be a very encouraging situation for creation of new videos. Why encouraging? Because to receive little bit support for a couple cups of coffee, this is a very good idea. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching, and Patreon sponsors are really welcome. Thank you for watching. Good luck, see you soon. Maybe tomorrow on next video stream. Good luck, see you soon on my channel. Bye bye. Yes, I am coming back to my colony. It's time to sleep. Time to drink a cup of tea with honey. So I wish you to drink a coffee or cup of tea with honey. Honey is the best subject in the world. the best, and where honeybees are the best, and entomologists are the best. Support them. Yes, for sure. Support them. Good luck, see you soon on my channel.